Here?
Here.
Here. Wow. Full names. Any conflict of interest statements?
No, sir.
Okay. Approval of the minutes of the meeting of May 29th, 2025.
Motion to approve those minutes.
And I second them.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Number 5, bid openings, I don't see any. Number 6, matters from other department heads or their representatives. Nobody? Okay, moving on to correspondence. Letter A, correspondence received from William Short, Chief of Police, recommending the suspension of an officer for a period of 30 days without pay, be demoted from the rank of Detective Sergeant and relinquish Detective Specialty pay for an incident that occurred on May 9th, 2025, submitted for approval. Let the record reflect the recommendation for suspension and demotion is noted. Pursuant to Indiana Code 36-8-3-4C, before a member of the police department may be suspended without pay in excess of 5 days, demoted or dismissed, we must first offer the member an opportunity for a hearing in front of this board. I will entertain a motion to send notice of right to a hearing to Mr. Elkman at this time. Recommending. Recommend, yeah.
I recommend that we approve the correspondence received by Chief Short.
So if we could, just to clarify and be, just so I understand the board's motion, the motion is to request that the correspondence for notice of hearing be sent to Mr. Elkman.
Okay.
Okay.
Is that, I just want to confirm
Yes,
that.
yes.
And I second them.
You're concurring.
Concurring, I'm sorry.
And I abstain from the vote. Okay, letter B, correspondence received from Bernard Gazzolia, Fire Chief, requesting the approval of the request for retirement from EMT Xavier Becerra, who has served the citizens of Hammond for 30 years, 2 months, and 20 days, effective June 3rd, 2025.
Motion to approve Chief Rizzolia's request.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter C, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting $50,000 of CIB funding to be allocated for general engineering services with First Group to perform various tasks and assignments for the engineering department, and corresponding agreement with First Group submitted for approval.
Good morning to the board.
Good morning.
Good morning. This is General Engineering Services. CIB met on Monday, approved the funding allocation. I'd ask for your approval of the agreement and the funding allocation.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Letter D, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting $175,935.01 of CIB funding to be allocated for the Memorial Park Construction Engineering Services, and corresponding agreement with American Structure Point submitted for approval.
Representatives from American Structure Point, including Mr. John Kennedy and Mr. Jeff Brent, is here. Jeff has been working on Summer Street for the last 2 years. So if there's a question that I can't answer, they're here to help me. This is the construction engineering services for Memorial Park. It's part-time observation. The project's already started. CIB met Monday to approve the funding allocation. I'd ask for your approval of both the agreement and funding allocation.
Okay. Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Letter E, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting $882,689.96 of CIB funding, which represents the 20% local match to be allocated for the Hammond Avenue, Complete Streets, Russell Street to Douglas Street project, and approval for the board president to electronically sign and approve the agreement.
As stated, it's the local match for the bridge widening project. This is Hammond Avenue.
Yes.
This is for Hammond Avenue Complete Streets. This is phase 2 of Hammond Avenue that goes from Russell to Douglas. The project was bid in May, the May 7th. The INDOT had sent us an invoice for the work, and this is our 20% match as stated. CIB met on Monday and approved the funding allocation. So we're asking for approval of the funding allocation and for the board president to electronically sign the agreement with NDOT on behalf of the city.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Apologize for my phone too, by the way. Letter F, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting $165,792.45 of CIB funding, which represents the 20% local match, to be allocated for the purpose of widening the US 20 Michigan Street Bridge over Kennedy Avenue with 80% funding by NERC and the FHWA, with the city of Hammond being the designated local sponsor.
This, in cooperation with NERC and their Pedal and Paddle Committee, it was decided that we would widen the Michigan Bridge or US 20 Bridge over Kennedy Avenue to accommodate a bike lane. I should say a cycle track, because that's a two-way path together on one side of the street, be on the north side of Michigan for the Marquette Greenway Trail that connects Chicago to Michigan and back. So the widening, the bridge itself was being replaced, and we're asking to add an extra lane width to accommodate for that. We are working with the city of East Chicago because half of the bridge widening and the approach to the bridge from the west is in East Chicago. So they have agreed in principle to fund 10% or 50% of the match requirement, if that makes sense,
Yes.
right? So, and we're working on an intergovernmental agreement with the law department and the city of East Chicago to cover that. So we're funding all of it right now, with the reimbursement yet to come from East Chicago. Funding allocation was approved on Monday at the CIB, so I'd ask your approval of the funding allocation.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter G, correspondence received from Dean Button requesting the approval of change order number 3, Kennedy Avenue Road Diet, in the amount of $18,035.68 for additional subgrade treatment, which previous savings to the project covers the cost of the added cement.
Yeah, so we're still under budget, but this is an increased cost because the standard is 5% cement in the mix for subgrade treatment. When the analysis was done on the soil, it needed 7%, so it's the extra cost for the extra 2% cement to be added. It's savings included, so there's no appropriate funding allocation because we're still under budget. I ask for your approval of the change order.
Gotcha. Yep.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Letter H, correspondent received from Dean Button requesting the approval from the request of Indiana Harbor Belt to close their crossing at State Line north of Willow Court, starting on June 13th, 2025 at 6 a.m. to June 17th, 2025 at 6 a.m.
As stated, request from IHB, I would let you know that this, the 13th is the same day that the board had approved the closure of Willow Court and State Street for Norfolk Southern in cooperation with IHB to replace the diamond just north of State Willow Court intersection. So it's happening on the same day, but then it's going to take a little bit longer. IHB is coordinated with Northlake Auto and the other business that's affected by this closure. I was reminded that there is another crossing that's controlled by Northlake that is open for their purposes, so
Yes.
they still have access to that, and that would be the biggest concern. There is an alternative to come from the Illinois side to access the building, so the property owner should be fine with the closure, and IHB has discussed that with them, I'm told, so I'd ask for your approval of this action.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Letter I, correspondence received from resident Cambria Heath, 3816 Robin Hood Lane, requesting to hold a 4th of July block party closing Ohio Avenue from 173rd to Robin Hood Lane from 5 p.m. to 11:30 p.m.
You want to change this time? Okay,
She has signatures too.
okay. All right, motion to approve with the stipulation that the block party is ended by 10 o'clock p.m.
And I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter J, correspondent received from Tamara Bunch, 1106 Drackert, requesting to block off the corner of Drackert and Howard to the alley for a birthday party on June 7th, 2025, from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Yeah, just to the alley. I think it's,
Okay. Motion to approve.
I second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter K, correspondence received from David Mika, South Shore Arts, requesting to block a portion of 435 Fayette Street, east of Bank Apartments, parking lot to the west of the new tracks on June 14th, 2025, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. to host the Entrepreneurship for Creativities event in conjunction with the Hammond Development Corporation.
Yeah, one, I think, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't in conflict with one of the car nights. It's not, okay. Secondly, just, I guess, along that, was curious on whether or not there was, since we're on this street, I was just curious whether or not PD had any report back on how the car event went.
She did talk to the leadership there, the manager, and that they were okay with it.
Because I think the first one was yesterday or Monday?
Monday.
Monday.
Yes, sir,
Yeah,
Any-
yeah, there's no issues.
No issues, okay.
no
And,
issues.
okay. And do we, signage-wise?
We're waiting for our signs. We're working on the one, and the other one's on.
Okay, and then we're going to hopefully like
Put them on
advise.
both
that-
ends, yes.
Yep, okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay,
We're good.
yep.
Okay. Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter L, correspondence received from Calumet College of St. Joseph requesting permission to close Gasper Avenue on July 24th, 2025, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. for their annual Pierogi 5K stumble.
Motion to approve.
Guessing they're drinking. for it.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter M, correspondence received from Controller's Office requesting the approval of the renewal of amusement device license for Good Time Charlie's, Good Time Charlie's, Maywood Civic Club and Area 504 Nightclub LLC.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Good old Charles. Good old Charles. Okay, letter N, correspondence received from resident Harvey, was that, Smee?
Me.
Two Smee. Okay, Simon, now I'm all messed up. Harvey Smee, 6226 Van Buren Avenue, requesting a four-way stop sign at Conkey and Van Buren intersection.
This came in yesterday. We can certainly take a look at it. I don't think it's going to meet the warrant analysis for stop signs at the cross street, but we'll take a look at it if you want to refer to engineering for recommendation.
Motion to refer to engineering for follow-up.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Number 8, matters from board members. Anything?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Mr. President, I do have an agreement between Harley Davidson of Valparaiso and the Hammond Police Department for the renewal of their lease on their motorcycle units submitted for approval.
Okay.
Can I make a motion? So I'd like to make a motion as well. Kevin, can I just make the motion as well?
Yes, yeah, I have no problem with it. You're talking about Harley Davidson?
Yes, the lease. Okay. I'd like to make a motion that we approve this request.
And I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Anything else from board members?
No, sir, Mr. President.
Okay. Number 9, new business. Letter A, funding allocation requesting $20,000 of First District Gaming Fund to be allocated for the Hermits Park upgrade submitted for approval.
Motion to approve.
I second.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter B, funding allocation requesting $20,000 of Fourth District Gaming Fund to be allocated for the 2025 resurfacing program submitted for approval.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter C, order to rescind and release order to demolish and release of demo lien for property located at 7352 Nebraska submitted for approval.
I like to try to remind the board that their work doesn't go unnoticed. This is another good result. After the demolition of the property, we recently received a check for payment in full of the demolition costs. It was over $17,000 that we got back. So and that's going to go back into the demolition fund so that we can continue to fund demolition. So I want to thank the board and advise them of this good result.
Thank you.
Motion to approve.
And I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter D, agreement to rehabilitate property located at 1037 Ames, submitted for approval.
Mr. Luter requests that this be approved. It should be signed, and if we could have a status date if we don't already have one.
Right before September 5th.
Okay? Maybe right after Labor Day. When's Labor Day?
The first.
First, so maybe we'll go that,
August 28th?
let's go the following after, yeah.
Okay, September.
September.
Oh, is the 4th available or no?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go the 4th, because that's right before the expiration.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Linda, and you'll vacate any other status then?
Just, okay. Motion to approve and set for status for September 4th, 2025.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter E, agreement to rehabilitate property located at 7339 California Avenue, submitted for approval.
Again, Mr. Luter recommends approval of this, and if we could confirm signature and set status for sometime right around the expiration.
Yes, signature's good, and September 1st is the date on here.
So we have that September 4th date as well.
Okay.
Okay, motion to approve and set for status for September 4th, 2025.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter F, agreement to rehabilitate property located at 944 Murray Street, submitted for approval.
Mr. Luter recommends approval. This is a company that has, I think, several rehabs going in the city at this time.
I think they're currently rehabbing, this will be number 5 at the same time.
So we'd recommend the request for a rehab agreement as well as set for status at some point.
The expiration date is August 8th. Do you want to do
Okay.
August 7th?
Sure, yeah.
Motion to approve and set for status for August 7th, 2025.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Letter G, disposal authorizations received from the Hammond Police Department, submitted for approval.
Motion to approve.
And I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter H, right-of-way permits received from engineering, submitted for approval.
Good morning.
Morning, Mark.
There's several permits, NIPSCO gas services, a water service, and I would request that the Patricia Lane be pulled. That slipped through, that's actually on private property.
Be pulled.
Yes.
Okay.
So we don't have to give approval for that, so I
It's
recommend
officially
approval.
pulled.
Thank you.
Okay.
Motion to approve all the permits with the exception of Patricia Lane.
And I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Let's see here. Letter I, request for rental registration hearing, submitted for approval.
Motion to set that meeting for June 26, 2025.
And I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter J, garage sale permit, submitted for approval. This is all.
Sorry. Yeah, that's what it is.
Okay, motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter K, notice of violation for property located at 1247 Lakeview Avenue. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
I inspected the property at 1247 Lakeview on April 23rd, 2025, and it was found to contain 2 units that were marked for not use due to the lack of fire separation and no permits to account for their creation, which would be the second floor rear apartment and the basement apartment of this property. The owners are cooperating. They know that they can't be used, so we ask that the order be affirmed.
Motion to affirm the order.
And I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Number 10, old business, letter A, status for 5217 Holman Avenue.
As the board
Good
is
morning.
Let me just set the record real quick. Thank you. As the board's aware, this was up last week to notify the board that Mr. Kearney declared this an emergency under 36-7-9-9. We heard from the property owners, and we reset this for status in an effort to allow them to communicate with the inspections department regarding their plans for securing the panels. It's my understanding that they have either already contracted or that contractor may have already begun the work to simply remove any panels that are loose and or secure any panels that may need secured. The city's request would be to keep this on because it's an emergency and has been declared an emergency by Mr. Kearney, to keep this on kind of a short status of a week by week, just to confirm that all the work's been done. I do also want to remind the board that there is an active demolition order and that the work to demolish the building will be bid out probably in the next 30 days. But, you know, that's another issue, but I just want to mention that that's an ongoing issue.
Okay, good morning, sir.
Good
Could you
morning.
give us your name again for the record?
Marius Bolchis?
Okay, and can you tell us if you agree with that and if you have anything else to add?
No, we agree.
You agree with what he
We
said?
agree, yeah. So like, we had a company that worked before on this building. It's licensed with Hammond.
Okay.
And they came out yesterday, and this morning they gave us a scope of work, and we have a couple more bids coming. One is coming tomorrow, one is coming Monday.
Okay.
So most likely we're gonna go with the company from yesterday. It's the same company, they installed the panels, they are flying, and they're gonna come back and secure and whatever. But we have a couple more companies giving us bids.
Did the company from yesterday give you any idea of how long this would take?
No, they have to come, and they'll know better when they're gonna start work.
Okay, so if we set this for status for next week, you should have some idea when it'll be completed?
Correct.
And hopefully, and so at this point, no work's been done.
Okay.
Okay, so that's
No.
a concern, right? Because obviously we had to cordon off and we just talked not too many items ago on the agenda that there's like car show and there's people living across the street. So there's obviously a concern. We definitely want to have work done, or at least moving forward by next Thursday.
Right.
If it's not, we're going to have to take it on ourselves.
You understand that, sir?
Yes,
So by next week, we'd like to know that the work has begun, and we'd like to have a date when you think it's going to be done, okay?
okay.
Okay.
And that there's already work ongoing
Yeah,
at the time.
yeah, the work started already, yeah.
Is the area blocked off so nobody can get down in there?
Yes,
Still, okay. And then also, could I request that the board ask the owner to supply the board with proof of liability insurance on the building, just so we know that if something does happen, like a panel falls off, that if someone gets injured, that there's insurance on the building that would protect that person from, for being, at least would allow that person to be compensated for any injuries or medical or anything like that, if something does happen.
Do you have that insurance, sir?
We do.
Do you have proof with you today?
not with me,
Okay,
but
would you be able to
like,
supply that next week, please?
Sure, for sure.
Okay.
That'd be great, thank you.
maybe in the before.
Yeah, it's just, if you have it, give it to Mr. Luter
Yeah,
or Mr. Kearney downstairs, that'd be great, and then we can report next week.
We can email it to the inspector,
Thank you
because
very much.
we have it in the
Okay.
email format.
Okay, then we're going to set it for status for next week, and,
Okay.
and you know, the work should have begun by then. We should have an idea when it's going to be completed, and we should have the insurance
Okay,
proof, okay?
Yep.
Thank you.
thank you.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be 2 weeks, Kevin, because next week is Juneteenth. Yeah. It's going to be 2 weeks, sir.
Juneteenth is already here? No, I thought the 12th's next
Just
week.
the 12th,
What do you?
yeah, the 12th.
Oh, sorry.
12th is
I'm
good.
ahead of myself, sorry.
The 12th is good.
Juneteenth is the 19th.
Sorry, sir. Thank you.
Easy.
I apologize.
I just want to make
Okay.
sure I had that right. Is that right?
Okay, I'll set the status for June 12th, 2025.
I second June 12th.
And I'm going to agree. Thank you. Okay,
My bad. I'm sorry.
moving on to letter B, status for 251 Detroit.
I was just reminded of when Juneteenth was recently, so I want to make sure I had it right. This was set over, I saw Ms. here she is, Ms. De La Paz sneak in a little earlier. We set this over for status. It was last up on May 22nd, in which Mr. Luter reported that he had received an email from Ms. De La Paz indicating that she had, there was some information she had given him regarding her tax return, and also you had ordered her to appear in today's date, and she's here. So we just need an update on the property.
Could you give us your full name, please?
Brenda De La Paz.
Okay.
last photos we have of me.
Could you give us an update on the property?
Well, I had already a guy, he's working there right now.
Okay.
Taking out, so the whole property is cleaned out now. He's working on my garage. He's decluttering, so it's pretty much empty, just for some machines that I have in there. But he's cleaning, everything's cleaned out now from outside, the garbage and, stuff.
Okay, but no work to this point has started on the house itself?
I do have the windows, and he is gonna paint, but he's waiting for the good weather.
Okay,
So hopefully this month, for sure.
Yeah, I think that's
yeah.
great news, I think, because the paint, I think just the cosmetic upgrade for the painting is really going to go a long way.
yeah.
So that's great news.
And he's a licensed contract, I mean, he's licensed, you know that for sure? The
He's-
person you're using?
Well, he works for a company that's licensed, but he's doing it, like,
What do you have to say about that, Bill?
Well, we'll have to have a conversation on that and see how we want to proceed, if she's getting some help from somebody and allowing her to do it on her homeowner permit.
Okay,
If we can make it work on the homeowner's permit, I think that'd be the way to go, especially since we have an owner-occupied situation here.
Right.
That we're always, we try to accommodate as much as we can on those situations.
okay, so how long do we want to set this out for another status?
Do you want to go like a month to see where we are in July? See
yeah,
how the
it
painting's
should be
going?
done, yeah.
All right, let's go like mid-July.
Mid-July.
Just, it'll be like 6 weeks.
This is the fest, so it'll have to be.
Is the 24th okay?
I'll be out, can we do the 17th? We're doing this,
Fest.
we're doing Fest though. We
Yeah.
meet during Fest,
I
right?
can do that one, yeah.
I was just asking that too.
I would go either the 17th or the 31st, so whichever Ms. De La Paz thinks is easier for her. 17th or 31st of July.
We get the 31st.
All right.
Yeah, that's what I'd pick if I were you.
Motion to set this for status for July 31st.
Thank you.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Tired on the 17th.
Aye.
You retired on the 17th?
Have a good day, thank you.
You too, thank you.
Letter C, status for 1563 177th Street.
So I see Mr. Rhodes in the audience today. Here he is.
How you
He's a new
doing?
purchaser of this property. This is the property that we have set over a couple times due to Mr. Wency Torres flipping it to Mr. Rhodes. That's not Mr. Rhodes' problem. He's just the purchaser.
Okay.
But we discussed the fact that we allowed Mr. Torres to enter into an agreement back in February. It expired on May 7th, and nothing was done. As you know, Mr. Rhodes has a good track record of rehabbing properties within the city. We've seen that I assume that's him that cleaned up the front. Go ahead.
Could I speak?
Yes.
If it may please the board, I took these pictures this morning.
Make sure you talk into the mic for me.
I took these pictures this morning.
Okay.
Okay, and I wanted to ask the board, because I know there was a previous rehab agreement and a previous thing. Kevin,
I'm listening.
I wanted to show you.
He wants to show you the pictures, Kev.
Okay, that was this morning. Everything's gone out the front. Okay, the back, no structures, nothing remaining.
Including the overhang.
And there's the overhead completely gone.
Okay.
And I want to say, here's the inside.
Gut, starting to gut it.
With Mr. Kearney's permission, we went in and did the ultimate rehab agreement. It is demoed to the studs. I put myself in a position where there's no question that the only thing that could be done is everything as new, every square inch. So, I mean, I would like, if I could, I have $42,000 worth of permits, $35,000 building permit, $5,000 HVAC permit for all new, and a $3,500 electrical permit to run all new. Everything's new, every square inch is new. And I also, the last time I was in front of you, 6946
You have
Arizona.
permits or you're applying for permits?
I'm applying for permits.
Okay.
They wouldn't sign off on it.
'Cause of the demo order.
No,
Because
we
of,
shouldn't be.
they wanted your approval. And I would say 6946 Arizona is on contract for $219,000.
Great
Okay,
news.
our philosophy is to go over the top, okay?
Okay.
We're bringing people in. I'll be
Here-
at the builders luncheon. Our plans are to flip
Oh, boy.
Little Waco next.
Okay, so.
I got to pitch Mr. Kevin on it.
I'll see you at
I
lunch
would just
today.
like permission
I think
to
he's-
just go
I think-
pull the permits if I
think you
could.
pitched
So I have no problem with the permits getting pulled. I think this is, obviously, Mr. Rhodes has a good track record. However, I would like to mention this. I'd like to request Mr. Luter, Mr. Kearney, to check into the bond that was posted by Mr. Torres regarding the rehab agreement. He signed it. I assume that there was a bond posted. If there wasn't, we'll have that discussion. And
Yes,
if
that
it-
is his.
If it was posted, I'd like it either transferred or potentially even forfeited because he didn't do anything, but let's potentially transfer it. Yes,
Could I please ask
the
that?
board decides who gets to talk, not me.
Yeah.
Could
Okay,
I-
go ahead.
Okay. I really pushed hard to get this property. You know, it's right around the corner from Mr. Kearney. Wency, that I've, come to know, I bought it from him. I told him that we're licensed contractors, we've done this before. He went with us because they were confident that it would get done because he knew his bond was at stake. Because if it didn't get done with another contractor, I said, I'm gonna get in there, I'm gonna do it as fast as could possibly be done. That's why it's been all cleaned up. And I got permission from Kelly to, to demo and wait on the permits. But,
So,
I
Okay, hold on one second.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
yeah, so, obviously, we had this discussion. Mr. Torres never showed up after he signed the rehab agreement. He flipped the house. I'm pleased that he flipped it to somebody that we know and that will do a good job, which I'm happy about. I'd leave it to the board's discretion on what we're gonna do with this bond. At this point, he has a bond based on his old rehab agreement. We have no rehab agreement with Mr. Rhodes, although it'd be very easy to assign it over to him and set a new date. And then the board could consider whether or not to just assign the bond over as well. So we might need something from Mr. Torres saying he has no objection to Mr. Rhodes taking the bond. And if we can get that, I would at least consider that some indication that the bond would then not have to be reposted by Mr. Rhodes.
And sir, could I'm just trying to, I'm gonna have to make good on that bond if that man doesn't get his bond money back. Okay, it's just gonna have to be a gentleman's agreement, so I'm pleading with the board to whatever you want done, just as long as he gets that's his 10 grand. It's not mine, and I pushed it saying I would get that back from him because I knew I was gonna rehab it, and I knew it was gonna get rehabbed fast, and that's why he went with me and not another investor. So even if you take the man's bond, it's gonna come out of my pocket.
And so all I'm saying is that we need a new rehab agreement signed by Mr. Rhodes. He can assign it, we can assign it over with a new date, and it's up to the board on whether or not to transfer that bond once we get the rehab agreement
Yeah,
signed.
I don't want to make that decision today. I want some more information, and we'll make that
Okay.
decision once the rehab
He
agreement's
would
signed.
sign that, because he does trust me, because I'm gonna have to give him the money one way or
Okay,
the
we
other.
want that done
I
first.
can't have the man lose the 10 grand because he
Okay.
went with me.
Okay, so all we're going to do today is, what do we need to do today? Set a status?
I think set a status so I can get a rehab agreement over to Mr. Rhodes. I have no objection to him pulling the permits as soon as he signs the assignment on the rehab agreement. I'll get that over to him probably today or tomorrow.
Okay,
And then he can go ahead and pull permits and away we go. I'd like to set it for a status for maybe, we know we can't set it for the 19th, Donnie,
Do
so.
the 26th.
Mr. Kaline, I'm sorry, 12th or 31st? 12th or 26th?
Yes. Yes, you want to do 26?
26th
Yeah.
for a status?
I don't
Okay.
know. Okay.
You're
A
the boss.
motion to set
They're
the
the
matter
boss.
for status for June 26, 2025.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Okay.
I wanna thank you.
Good morning, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Number 11, late rental registration hearings, letter A, 3 Waltham. Just whatever I can do to.
Good morning, Board.
Good morning.
Morning.
Okay,
Is there a representative from PMI NWI or Lamont Robertson?
anybody? Okay, go ahead, Jordan.
Owner has owned the property since 8/4 of 2023. We are here currently for 2024's rental registration and 2025's. They have not had any other issues, and they haven't missed previously, but with no representative being here, I leave it up to the board's discretion.
That's a 4-unit, says?
It says it's a 4-unit. I'm unaware if the units that are along state line are enveloped into this property, because as of 3 Waltham, it has the State Lines Pizzeria attached to it, and there are 2 additional units associated with that business. I'm not sure if these all fall under rental registrations, as the 3 Waltham has only ever been registered as a 2-unit building.
Well, if they were here, we could find out those answers.
Exactly.
So it's 2 years. It's a 40. Yeah, that's what we do, right? So, okay.
Motion to impose the late fees for 24 and 25.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, moving on to letter B, 7240 Harrison Avenue.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Could you give us your name and your association with the property?
Jeffrey Stoika, owner.
Okay?
Complete stupidity of misplacing the card, and I came in a couple days after it was due. They had said that they could possibly catch the inspection and have it submitted. Evidently, that didn't happen. Said I needed to come in here to let you know how idiotic on my part that it was, and get a form and then go down and do whatever I have to do to get the registration complete.
Okay.
Property owner has owned the property since 1998. We are here for 2025's rental registration. He was previously in front of the board for 2022's rental registration, which was waived.
Okay.
No other issues other than that.
Yeah. Okay.
Motion to waive the late fee.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Thank
If
you.
you want to wait till the meeting's over, they'll give you a copy, and you can take this downstairs and pay it if you'd like.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Soika, please remember,
I
moving
know,
forward,
I know.
please remember.
I told them when I came down, I said, can I just, I'll pay 50.
Please remember, okay.
Okay, moving on to letter C, 7107 Alexander. Thank you. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Could you give us your name and your association with the property?
Yes, Coy Robinson. I'm a co-manager, and also my fiance owns it, Adrian Coney.
Okay. Could you tell us what happened for 2025?
Honestly, like I said, she owns the property. I never actually saw the document, but unfortunately she couldn't be here today, so I'm here on her behalf to just let you know that I'm realizing from the last gentleman never really been through this process how important it is, and I'll make sure that from here on out it won't happen again.
That's very honorable of you to show up and take the blame today.
Sometimes you got to take the sword.
Okay, go ahead, Jordan.
Ms. Coney has owned the property since 4/27 of 2023. We're here for the rental registration of 2025. They have not missed previously. There is a full homestead tax deduction that is being claimed on the property. We would request that the form be filled out completely and then returned to us by the property owner.
You understand that part?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so that form he can provide for you after the meeting, okay?
Absolutely, no
Okay.
problem.
Thank you.
Motion to waive the late fee.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
And sir, just so you know, it's due from January to April 15th.
Okay, from January.
January of the beginning of the year to April 15th.
Okay, no problem.
All right.
Okay. The meeting's now open to the public. Anybody have anything they want to say? Oh, Jordan, sorry about
Oh,
that.
sorry, George.
In terms of letter I on the agenda, where's my agenda at?
Which I,
For request for rental registration hearing submitted for approval, set for June 26th. I'm requesting a continuance on those dates, wherever the appeals may be for those dates, to be for July 3rd. I will not be present June 26th.
Okay.
So just to make sure that we have somebody representative here to take care of the rentals.
What
Kevin?
was the date, June? The last,
July 3rd would be my requested date to change the rental appeal hearing.
Kevin, do I need to rescind that earlier motion and? Sure. Okay. Going back to letter I would like to rescind the motion setting the rental registration hearings for June 26, 2025, and set the new date for July 3rd, 2025.
Thank you.
And I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anything else is open to the public still? Anything else from anybody? Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.